YouTube, what's good? What's good? Being a nice guy when you fat is really, really going to mess up your relationships. It's going to mess up all the relationships that you got, man. Not just at home, but it's also going to mess up the relationships you got with your friends, your coworkers, how everybody view you. Nobody really think about like being a nice guy, being a like as a bad thing. Um, Recently learning after reading that book, No More Mr. Nice Guy, is actually the worst thing that can happen to you as a man. And if you a fat body, that makes it even worse. Because when you are a bigger guy, when you are fat, you feel like you have to overcompensate for being fat. So you got to be funny. You got to always say yes. You got to always feel like you're valuable at something, right? You got to feel like you're the best at whatever it is that you're doing. And it causes a lot of misjudgment and misalignment. And like I said in one of my posts this morning, it's like it's easy for me to talk about this shit. I can call you a fat motherfucker. I can call you a big back because I used to be one, right? So I can call you a nice guy because I used to be one. And it ain't no shame in that, right? You don't know until you know. You grow up thinking that it's okay to be kind. It's okay to be like, yeah, I'll do this or yeah, I'll do that, even if it inconveniences you, because that's what you're taught, not necessarily knowing that that's not really the best way to be. Because when you don't have boundaries, you literally don't respect yourself. You already don't respect yourself because you 300 plus pounds, or in my case, 6'2", 300 plus pounds. And some people, oh, you carried it well. No, the fuck I did not. I saw pictures of me, and man, I was cooked. And I joke with my kids like, man, how y'all let me walk around like that, right? Like that was gonna do anything. But I find it funny that when I scroll back through these pictures, I can literally feel the feelings that I felt those days. And it wasn't good feelings. It wasn't, oh man, this is a great day with my kids. Nah, it was just, dang, I wonder what this person thinking. I wonder what this person wondering, why I'm so heavy and all this other stuff. But then I come back to who I am now and be like, damn, that's I came a long way. I came from a nice guy to this man, the guy I was supposed to be. And one of my good buddies asked me, because we was texting today, they're on a different side of the world. So it's like, man, I've kind of noticed that you very direct, you kind of abrupt. If I ask you this, like you cut it and that's that. I was like, well, what you mean? He's like, well, I purposely tried to argue with you just to get your opinion on something, because we go back and forth about sports. All the guys do it. That's just, and it's gonna be an age long debate who the GOAT in basketball and boxing, right? Any black barbershop in America, that's gonna be a topic of discussion. You got people that's gonna say MJ, you got some people that's gonna say Kobe or LeBron. And if you don't have Kobe in that conversation, you shouldn't even talk about it. You hella disrespectful. Now I came up in the Kobe era, so Kobe gonna always be my GOAT. I ain't trusted nobody in this world since Kobe Bryant in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? But I have to give credit where credit is due and tell people that LeBron is the GOAT. So, of course, it's going to be back and forth arguments, right? He tried to start that, but with boxing, because he knows my love of boxing. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm telling you, man, Floyd would have beat Bud. I looked, I said, okay. And then I just completely talked about another subject. And he was just like, we talked about the other stuff. And like, man, what happened to you? Why y'all said, I don't want to talk about that. And we're not going to talk about that. He's like, man, I know, and we've known each other years. I'm talking about 10, 15 plus years being in the Army, and we still keep in touch to this day. And every time we got some major shit going on in our lives, we always reach out to each other. We can go 2 years without talking to each other, but that brother gonna always reach out to me when I'm feeling something, and vice versa. It's just one of those universe things. So, he was trying to go back and forth about it. I was like, man, I'm not gonna do this. He was like, man, something changed with you. I was like, I got to tell you the truth, man. I'm not really a nice guy no more. He was like, well, why not? I said, because I'm very, very solidified in my stance now. If I say it once and you don't get it, that's cool. I'm not going to lose my cool. I ain't going to raise my voice. In fact, I'm going to look at you like you just stupid, because there's no reason for any negative energy no more. It's just not. I mean, even situations that I have now, even situations that I go through, I'm not going, hey, look, this is what it is. If you don't catch it the first time, then that's on you. So if I said this, that's what it is. Let's move on, you know? And it used to be uncomfortable doing that, but I've gotten to a point where I don't fucking care no more. This is gonna be what it is. You know, I think leaving that nice guy era, I really wish I would have left it sooner, man. If I would have left the nice guy era last year sometime, I think the trajectory of my life would be way different than what it is now. But I never shake God's timing. His timing is for a reason. His timing allowed me to come across that book. His timing allowed me to come across the coaches that I've worked with. His timing allowed me to jump into the new therapist that I'm working with now. And for the first time in a long time, I have a male therapist. And I can't talk about, I don't really want to talk about the whole female therapist shit because I didn't even know the subconscious reason why I even had female therapists, right? It's some crazy shit. But you learn a lot about yourself when you actually take time and listen to those outside opposing views. For one, I have to do a better job, and I can be vulnerable and tell you, I got to do a better job of other perspectives, right? Because my perspective may be this, and this is what I'm gonna roll with, but I don't necessarily think about the in between. I think about, hey, this is the message that I'm trying to convey. I got to get better at that. And I can, I've acknowledged that, and that's what I'm gonna strive towards. I already take a step back to realize, but then I have to take more of a step back to think about just things that I'm not normally thinking about when it comes to those things. When I was a nice guy, I wouldn't have to worry about that because I wanted to say yes. I wanted to just agree to keep peace. I'm not that guy. I'm really not. I don't care about keeping peace, conflict. I'm just going to say what I say, but my feelings got to be in the moment. I've come to that conclusion from that book. It's okay to feel what you feel and say what you say, but say it when it happens. Take your time. Understand the situation. Don't let anybody rush you into your feelings. And I've learned that as of recently. I'm not going to let, even at work, oh man, I ain't going to let this rush into my feelings. I need a second to think about this, right? And I embrace conflict these days because I'm not going to argue. And that comes with no longer being a nice guy. A nice guy will do these covert contracts. He won't say what he wants. He'll expect you to know what you want because of all the things that he do for you in return. And that's not how you're supposed to do that. I didn't even realize I was operating like that until I had to dissect myself from that book. And I said, dang, like this is real. Like I never knew that. And because that book is so powerful, it allows you to really learn how to be outcome independent. It understanding your feelings as a nice guy can really change the way you think when you're not even a nice guy, when you're not that same nice guy. I just feel, and I'm speaking from experience, I feel that when you are significantly overweight and you are successful and you have the things that you want, you tend to be a nice guy, but that nice guy is only for a certain part of your life. But that asshole that's within you is still there. I know plenty of nice guys right now who don't even know they're nice guys. You know what I mean? And it's not my job to tell them. But if a friend of mine asks me like, yo, Sean, man, what you think? Bro, you a nice guy. Why you say that? And I hate to say this, but I've been using the word bitch. I use that shit a lot, even like before. But nowadays, I've had to program myself to really, when I say that, I gotta fucking really think about it. I got daughters, right? And I don't ever want them to think like, damn, my dad don't respect women. It's not that I don't respect women. I just don't respect some of the ways women move, right? Because it's easier for me now to be like, yeah, I feel where you're coming from, but that's not what I'm doing. This is how I'm gonna move, and you can move accordingly. But this is how I'm thinking now. I come to the place to where I don't want to match. I can't. I don't have the energy to match. Now, like I said, I didn't know that before. A man should never match a woman's energy, but at the same time, it shouldn't be disrespectful neither. I seen it inside the book I'm reading. It was put yourself in the situation. Not No More Mr. Nice Guy, but another book I'm reading. It's like, put yourself in the situation. How would you react if your woman is yelling, screaming, cursing, being very disrespectful? How do you handle that situation? The old me would have immediately, fuck you, this, that, and the third. You don't talk to me like that, blah, blah, blah. I look back at that now and I'm like, damn, I would have handled it that way because I didn't have the tools that I have now to properly handle that situation. There's no sense in going back and forth with your woman. And as a fat man, as a extremely overweight guy, you're going to do that because you're already emotionally charged because of your estrogen levels. You already feel like you got to do the most because you already at a disadvantage. So right there, you already down 2-0. You fat and you insecure. So you down 2-0 while this woman is operating within her lane. She's supposed to be an emotional wreck. She's supposed to say things that's gonna hurt you. Most of these women are shit test you and you don't even fucking know it. But you being a man, sometimes you fall for it, sometimes you don't. But it's with the tools that you get. The tools that you later get is how you apply it. I absolutely love reading the books that I'm reading because I find errors in me. I'm not looking for the errors in a woman because I'm not necessarily in the mindset of ever really worrying about what a woman do no more, because you can't allow yourself to worry about what she's doing because it's going to take you away from your purpose. And that's what we do as men. We fuck up a lot, right? We doing our thing when we meet these women. And when we meet these women, we tend to pedestalize them. And when you pedestalize them, you don't know this, but you are slowly killing yourself every day and you don't even know it. Matter of fact, she don't even know it, right? Because you never tell her no, because you always giving her what she wants. And you instantly pedalize her instead of making her earn that shit. And I was guilty of that too. A lot of successful guys are. Hell, a lot of men are, because we simply don't know. And when you are a bigger guy, you really feel like you got to do the most and compensate more because you want to keep the wolves out. You want to keep the other guys away, right? Because one thing I have learned as a not so nice guy, never ever believe what a woman tell you. You have to literally listen with your ears and listen with your eyes, because you can sit here and tell me I'm not doing this, but in real time you're watching the complete opposite reaction. And it doesn't make sense. It's not our job to ever try to understand a woman, bro. Don't ever do it. And when you are a nice guy, when you a nice guy and you a fat nice guy, that's going to be your main priority. You're going to focus solely on trying to understand the nature and how they move and how they operate. And that's going to take you from your purpose. That's going to take you from everything else. Guys, I'm going to be 100% real with you. That's where I went wrong. That's where a lot of guys go wrong, because we just don't have the tools. I have to reiterate, we did not have the tools. Deshaun Reed nowadays, I'm not going to put too much energy into a woman. I'm not going to put too much energy into a bitch. I just can't. Women and bitches are two different things. So don't ever confuse the two. But I can't put all of my energy into a woman no more, because for one, I've already come to the conclusion that Sean has walked into the best version of himself. So that means my God and my purpose is first. Everything else is going to fall in line, because a woman don't want to be your entire world. They just want to be a part of it. And that came with taking accountability for, like, damn, I may have fucked this up, or damn, I may have fucked that up. Women don't want to be your whole world, because that is an immense amount of fucking pressure. Imagine some woman holding you to a standard to where you feel like if you make a mistake, everything is just going to go to shit, because you have a certain level of expectation placed on you, because their world, I am their whole world, right? And when somebody else become your whole world, man, you stop going to the gym, you stop taking care of yourself, you stop redirecting your purpose in life to actually be achieved. I can say I was pretty blessed, educated like a motherfucker, always had drive to do the things that I wanted to do. But over time, I got comfortable. I got fatter, you know what I mean? As a fat, comfortable, nice guy that's dealing with depression and childhood trauma, as a black man, that is a recipe for everything in your life to go completely wrong at some point. It may look good now, but at some point, something in your life is going to go completely wrong, because you have now abandoned who you are. You don't have an identity no more. Your identity is tied up into that bitch and them kids, or that career and all these other things. And that's not what it's supposed to be. I can sit here and give you the real on those things, because not only did I see it happen in real time, but it happened to me. I can see why it was easy. It can be easy for a woman to lose respect for somebody who don't respect themselves. It's easy to, oh man, I don't feel like going to the gym today. I'm just gonna lay here and just wait to get up, eat, and go to work and shit. comfort, right? Men, we have to do the hard shit. Like we really, really have to do the hard shit because that's the stuff that's going to keep us going. And when you discover that, I'm 37 years old, fellas, and I'm recently discovering that I need to pick to do the difficult shit every day because now that difficult shit, I enjoy. And it's crazy. A lot of people don't want to wake up at 4 in the morning. Shit, I look forward to that shit. I'm just thankful that God even allowed me to wake up. And because I'm allowed to wake up, I'm allowed to thank him when I wake up, when I pray. I'm allowed to get up, healthily walk to the bathroom. I got my legs. I can see, taste, smell, touch, feel. I have all of my everything that he blessed me with. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna take a piss. I'm gonna check my phone for any notification that I may have missed. And normally I see my daughter call because she done called me at 2 o'clock in the morning, po baby. And then, I get back with her when I feel like she's awake and she at it. But I do my best in everything that I'm doing. And I'm always reading something. I'm always writing down my feelings. And it's been helping me a lot. Guys, don't be afraid of doing that. That's why I'm stressing, and I will continue to stress, your body transformation. Because that body transformation becomes an inner identity transformation. You completely change who you are. And I promise you, people not going to believe the change because they steady going to try to pull the old you out. But the moment you take back your power and you ain't even giving into that shit, you actually look back at it and be like, the fuck was that about? But then you go into doing what you want to do. Guys, I see it, I live it in real time, but you can never ever, and I can truly say this, never try to change how someone feel about you. If they feel a certain way about you, let them. It's a book called The Let Them Theory. Guys, you should read that shit too. Let them. You need your validation. You don't need anybody else's. If you feel like you got to work on a certain area of your life, then you need to work on a certain area of your life. I can be honest. I asked God for patience and wisdom. I would like to think he gave me that because I've been very patient. I've been very wise when it comes to certain situations. Well, not so much recently because, my level of excitement sometimes take me out and then I don't automatically think certain things through and I'm just like, oh shit, right? I'll just be real with y'all. I don't give a fuck. I wrote a book, great book. I got 2 publishers wanting to publish this book for me, but I'm still going through the details. I'm still, hey, look, this got to be right. I need complete ownership because this book is for my children, right? I made the mistake and I didn't reread it because I wrote it like a year ago, but they got their hands on it. It got out. I know how it got out, but it got out because one of my friends, he read it. He's like, bro, this is amazing. I know somebody. And then that person knew somebody and knew somebody and they fucking called me, right? So I forgot that it was a lot of explicit shit in that book. It's some hardcore fucking going on. But I made a mistake and was just so excited that I sent it to my older kids. And my son being 17, all right, cool. He damn near, man, he could fuck with this shit. But then my 13, 14-year-old daughter, I was like, oh, shit. I didn't think about it till after the fact until she was like, hey, this might be a little bit inappropriate for me. I was like, shit, hey, you know what, baby, I'm sorry I fucked up. In hindsight, I should have read the fucking book again. But I was just so excited that I'm doing something positive for my children. Like, this is going to be y'all's. Like, y'all going to own the rights to this. Like, this, I own it, but this is for you guys, right? And I was just hella excited, and I didn't think. So it was easy for me to fall back in the trap with mama of going back and forth and yelling, I made a mistake, you did, whatever, dude. Look, I made a mistake, I own it, let's move past that already. I can't go back and fix it. I've amended for it. This is how, as a matter of fact, you said you read it. What you feel about it? Did you like it? Like, bro, I was dead ass serious too. Did you like it? Because I'm not about to no longer dwell on the past. I'm not about to be pulled into drama. I'm not about to be pulled into no arguments because I'm not that nice guy no more. I've already explained myself once. I'm not doing that shit again. If you can't get with it, that's on you. My life is going to go on and I'm still going to be successful. I'm still going to do the things I need to do. I'm no longer going to tolerate any man, woman, or child trying to pull me out of my pivot and my square. I can't do it no more. I don't have the energy for it. I just don't. And that's the best part of no longer being a nice guy. That nice guy would have felt obligated to just argue. But at the same time, that nice guy would have also felt a need to just please the situation. I am over that shit. Look, I made a mistake. And then, you know what? I ain't even telling y'all the whole story. In the beginning, when I was confronted about it, I did like take a deep breath, but I wasn't thinking of, oh man, let me come up with something so I don't have to argue or go into conflict. It wasn't even that. I was thinking like, damn, what could this be about? It's a great fucking story. As a matter of fact, I took the criticism from some real close people to make it better. And then I was like, well, I know, damn, the violence was pretty bad, the murder. Then I was like, oh shit, the sex. And that's when I was like, oh, you know what? I made a mistake. I shouldn't have sent it out, you know? And then later in the conversation, I was like, you know what? It was just my level of excitement. You know, my level of excitement that something great is happening. And it's going, well, you should have just told me that in the beginning. Well, I couldn't tell you that in the beginning because that's not how I was thinking about it. I wasn't feeling that way. You know, I remember the feeling when it all came back to me. It was like, oh man, you know, yeah, I didn't read it. I didn't reread it. It's an awesome book in my eyes, and apparently to these publishers, it's a great book. And I just didn't go back and read it because I was just so excited. And I know that was the initial answer that was being looked for, but my mind wasn't there. I had to think about what this shit could be about because, you know, I don't really do much. Well, actually, I'm lying. I do a lot. I've been as a recovering nice guy. Guys, you got to fill your time instead of ever worrying about anybody but yourself. Fill your time up, man. I'm taking cooking lessons. You know, I'm back on the piano. I'm back teaching kids how to box. You know, just doing stuff that I love to see in other, just to pour into myself so that I'm a better person for the people around me and for myself, most importantly. Because if you don't pour into yourself or you don't love yourself, you can't properly love nobody. So I figured out how to properly love myself. And that's by staying in discomfort. That's by waking up at 4, getting into that gym, putting my body through war, eating right and recovering until I look the way I want to look, right? And I'm already damn near 90% where I want to look. And the scale is exactly where I want it to be, but I don't give a fuck about the scale. I give a fuck that when I lift up my shirt, them abs are popping out. I feel like, you know, when I'm wearing these shirts, I got the exact build that I want. This shirt bringing it all out because this is how I really look now. This is who I am. I was meant to be an attractive guy. I wasn't meant to be a fat fucker. I just wasn't. But it took some time for me to realize that. And now that my mind is catching up to my body, I already know this shit. And it's not arrogance or cocky. Matter of fact, I don't even say shit. A woman to say there, a glance there, stare, I don't even give them no mind. I just look right through them, just keep looking straight. It's like, that's not on my mind right now. My mind is on get the best deal for this book, get my book out, continue to build my body so I can help other fat bodies get in the best shape of their life so they can walk around with the confidence and stilo that I got. Yeah, certain parts of my life may be falling apart. But at this point, you know, you understand what it was for. It's meant to teach you a lesson. God won't take you to it if he can't get you through it. So yeah, I went through a rough season of my life and continuing in a way, but my mindset has changed about it. It really truly has, because not only of me pouring into myself, but me understanding the inner work that needed to be done by reading these books, by going through therapy, by taking care of my body. I can sit here and say, and this is the God's honest truth, yeah, women would, you know, make themselves presentable when I was a bigger guy. But now that I'm not a bigger guy and, you know, you got the delts to make them melt. You got the obliques for the freaks and the cuts for the sluts. You know, you got all that shit now. So now that it's coming at you so fast, it's like most times you don't even care about it. Because it's like, dude, man, I done seen more ass in the toilet seat, to be honest with you. What's different about yours? You know what I mean? It's what's different about it? You know, I'm on a different level of thinking right now. My whole, it's not sex anymore. It's, damn, how can I get better today? What can I do today that's gonna last me tomorrow, or, you know, do something positive for somebody around me? How did I impact somebody's life today? That's legit how I'm thinking now. That's why I don't like to get pulled into drama, and I won't get pulled into no bullshit no more. You know, I can communicate, and I'm working on my communication skills a lot better. Guys, I used to be a horrible gambler. I'm in financial budgeting classes right now. I literally just got done with a class before I hopped on this call. I took an hour class on how to properly budget, on how to save and all these other things, because I got goals that I want to hit, right? And I don't need nobody to tell me how to do this. Got to do it myself. I don't need nobody to do everything else for me no more. And not by making them feel included in my life or making them my life. I'm doing these things now because I need to be self-sufficient on my own. And granted, I was before, but you lose sense of that when you think you're in a partnership. And really, it's just one person carrying more than the other. And I was guilty of that, right? I did my little part, but the other part it was just too much. But now that I understand that, I've actively made the decision to make these make these changes for the positive. You know, hey, go into the budgeting class, you know, learn how the money flows, track exactly what goes in, what goes out, just like calories. You know, I've paid down a lot of debt so far because I'm tracking what goes in, what comes out. I'm tracking, you know, cover this one first because this higher interest rate. Do the right things, guys. You're watching me rebuild my life in real time. And I'm not ashamed of that. Like, I'm just not. I don't give a fuck what you think. You're going to look back at this video one day and be like, damn, that tall ass, sexy black dude really went through some shit. But how did he get through it? This is how I got through it. I prayed. I enlisted coaches, and I was susceptible to criticism and opening my mind. That's the only way that I was able to get to where I am now. The ultimate gentleman, his main phrase is, fuck that bitch. He only say that to grab the audience, and then he gets you in. Just like when I'm talking to y'all in the morning, yo, big back ass, you know, fat fucker, that gets you in. And I have a lot of people call me, man, this is what I'm going through. How can I get right? Okay, I'll roll out my pricing to you so we can get you right. You know, that's how these things go. But Coach Ken speak a lot of real shit. He really do. And I advise any man who going through a rough time with a lady or just in life, give him a call. Reach out to him on IG, because he really got my mind right. And he said, bro, I hate to say this, but fuck that bitch. He was like, a lot of women today don't even have much to bring to the table besides, you know, themselves, and they not even right themselves. He was like, I'm not saying that's your situation. He said, but you got to understand that women are a direct mirror of you. He's like, so you had to be fucked up for her to be fucked up. And I was like, damn, you know, he taught me a lot of shit. But moving past that, he gets on to you. He don't care about the woman. He gets on to you and where you need to evolve as a person and as a man. And he told me, he said, Sean, the one thing I fear for you, he was like, the one thing I fear for you is that your career is going to keep growing. You're a smart, young black guy. And two, he said, now you ain't a fat fucker no more and you look amazing. He said, and on top of that, once you done cleared your debt and you got your money right, he was like, all of your problems went away because you done got sexy. And he was like, even more of your problems going to go away when your finances are in order. He said, my biggest fear for you is you're going to be so stoic and untouchable. I don't think nobody's ever going to want to be by your side. He's like, because they're going to have to really step up to the plate on a financial level, spiritual level, and mental level to even want to fuck with you. He's right in a sense, because I'm no longer going to dumb myself down for anybody else. I did a lot of that. I'm never dumbing myself down for nobody else again. If we can't hold a conversation about some real shit, I'm going to keep my fucking mouth shut. And I'm going to know how to move from there. I'm no longer, I dumb myself down in a lot of my relationships. And I've dumbed myself down with a lot of friendships too. I'm not ever doing that shit again. And it feels good. So get rid of that nice guy syndrome. Pick up that book. Pick up that book. Click that Calendly link in my description. Come holler at me. We can discuss that book, because it is a real life changer for men who need it. And every man needs to read that book. And once you read it, it ain't going to turn you into a cold motherfucker. It's going to turn you to a real motherfucker. Just like that. You got to be okay with walking away. You got to be okay with starting over. You got to be okay with being ruthless. Guys, separation and divorce is a fucking business. Don't just get a bitch what she wants just because you want to see her land on her feet. No, fuck that. If they want this shit, they got to fucking go out there and get it. Fight for what you can. But if you cool with it and you cool with just whatever, go for it. Like, my homeboy told me all the time, like, man, fuck the material shit. You solid men can start over and do what they do. And guys, you can too, no matter what you're going through. Hit that link in my description. We'll talk about it. Everybody went through some shit, or everybody going through some shit. Most people can relate, some people can't. But you got me. You definitely got Coach Ken. I'm the ultimate gentleman. So that's some good information for you guys today. So I'm going to say that to say this. Don't be a nice guy. Get that book, pick it up, apply it, and read that shit. No more Mr. Nice Guy. All right? Especially if you fat and overweight and just messy, just not attractive. You don't want to be a nice guy. You're going to be invisible. And you're going to be a fat fucker that nobody don't want to talk to or deal with. So get that weight off. Get that body fat off and keep it off. And don't be a nice guy. All right? Don't play them fucking away games. Hit me up.